restaurants?
Yeah, well, of course, I have to stop
you
at the
do
diners
listen,
as you're, to eat. And so I had some experience of these places. And I think that when you ask about dialogue, that's a question of ear. I'm also interested in theater. So when I walk into a place, I've been listening to these people talk my whole life. And since I've done a lot of traveling around the States, probably more than anybody I know, I've listened to the different dialects. Which is not to say I often cannot capture them accurately, but some of them stick in my mind, so that if I start to think about it, I can start trying to reproduce the exchanges that I heard.
Okay.
But that doesn't come immediately. I have to, as is the case with anything I write, I have to write it down, and then I come back to it over and over, and I read it out loud. I have to be able to read it out loud to see whether it sounds right.
Mm-hmm. I think what we're going to do is, I'm so intrigued by this, that these stories and the mechanics of producing them, I think justifies part 2 of an interview with you, which I will plan to do sometimes in the fall. And now, we have about 5 minutes left. Just very quickly, what kind of advice would you like to give to my viewers out there, some of whom are very young, and I can imagine them, they're intrigued because they want to be writers like you. What do you advise them to do? What should they do?
Well, writing's like music. It's practice. And so you have to, everybody has a different way of coming about it. It's all about how I come to it. I have to write a lot of very bad stuff in order to get a little that I like. So I always encourage people, I encourage my students in my classes, write a lot. Write as much as you can. Don't worry about tangents. I tell them that when I start a story, I very often think I'm going to write a story about something, and then I go off on a tangent, and it's that's most successful.